We've got to talk about Ruben Amorim's latest comments because they have me and other Manchester United fans worried. We're going to talk about the Sunderland game. Could it be Ruben Amorim's final game? What does Fabrizio Romano have to say on Ruben Amorim's future if he loses to Sunderland? And more. Antony speaks out about Manchester United again. Amada Casemiro return and a few other stories going about. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, update show, and roundup. And I keep saying transfer news, but there's literally no transfer news being discussed. I meant to say manager news. Look, I'm filming this on the go. I don't have my mic with me. I don't have any of my equipment with me. So I'm really hoping the audio comes out okay. Look, I apologize if the audio is muffled. I'm filming in this horrible soundproof box. The lighting is atrocious. I don't know. The lighting is doing me dirty in here. The audio probably isn't great. So I do apologize for that, but I want to get into the news. I want to get into the stories, and I want to have a conversation about Ruben Amorim. I do want to talk about Lemens. I feel like Lemens, surely Lemens has to start tomorrow. I don't think he is going to start, but surely we'd like to see Lemens start. We'd like to see Kobbie Mainoo start. We'd like to see Euro start. If you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. So this is the first thing Ruben Amorim said that worries me. When I look at matches we lost, I don't think we lost because of the system. That's my opinion. Now, this isn't the first time Ruben Amorim has said something like this. He said things like, I will not change my system unless I want to. And for me, if you've had a 33 game sample size and you've got 34 points from it, and you're statistically the worst Manchester United manager by a long way, I personally want to change my system when tomorrow, I think tomorrow's going to be his 50th game and he's lost more games than he's won. I personally want to change my system if I was Ruben Amorim, because I would have seen enough to say it's not working. But Ruben Amorim is insistent that his system is working. It's not the system, it's the players, it's the player mentality, that it will work, and he's insistent on that. Look, if Ruben Amorim beats Sunderland and then goes and wins his next 10 games in a row, I will sit there and I will apologise. He's got to win a good amount of games for me to apologise. He can't just win one or two. And I'll be like, okay, he was onto something, but I just don't see that happening. When we've had 34 games to see the system is getting us just above the relegation zone, and he keeps saying he's going to stick with this, I personally feel that he's just going to get himself sacked. Now, he's saying when you look at the matches, I don't think we lost because of the system. I don't think every match is because of the system. I think there's fine margins. The first game versus Arsenal wasn't the system, it was the fact that Baindir is crap and we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. There's many games we've lost under Amorim where I don't think it's been the system, but there's been fine margins, either at the top of the pitch where we've not taken the chances, Bruno's missed a penalty, or at the bottom of the pitch with the goalkeeper being crap. So I do agree with Amorim on the fact that a lot of the time we've lost, it hasn't actually been completely because of the system, but the system has a part to play. What I don't like about Ruben Amorim is he's not even thinking of changing the system or adjusting the system. It has to be the players, it has to be this, has to be that. A big part of it is the player mentality. The fact that we're playing one game a week and the intensity the players gave versus Brentford was a disgrace. It's not Amorim's fault the players were losing second balls. It wasn't Amorim's fault the players were playing with that lack of intensity. It's not Amorim's fault Bruno misses a penalty. It's not Amorim's fault that Baindir can't save a shot right at him. So, it's not completely because of the system. The same mistakes would happen in a different system. But when you have such a big sample size and the system is really predictable and easy to play against, I think the system is a big problem. So this is what I had to say. You've lost more games than you've won. 34 points from 33 games. Yes, the midfield could give more, but the system isn't working. The two in midfield got overloaded and ball progression goes wide, making us predictable. And when teams press high, we struggle. We're not creating chances for our striker. We're conceding plenty of goals despite its defensive setup. Yes, the intensity and efforts from the players must improve, and the number of mistakes is unacceptable, and the goalkeepers have been crap on our Baindir. But how can he not question the system? All the best Premier League managers have adapted their system multiple times. Pep, Klopp, even Sir Alex Ferguson. They make adjustments depending on the players they bring in, the players they lose, the players that get injured. Football evolves and systems change, and something that can work so well in the Portuguese league isn't necessarily going to work in the Premier League. It's a very different league. It's a very difficult league. So I look at it and I go, when I look at Ruben Amorim's system, I thought the first half of football we played versus Burnley and the first half an hour of football we played versus Fulham was really good football, and I think the system was working well. But the opposition, so Marco Silva, then about 30 minutes in, changed his tactical approach, overloaded the midfield, pressed us high, we couldn't get out, and I think the only chance we created versus Fulham in that second half until the last 10 minutes was the Euro goal, and we could have lost that game to Fulham. The Burnley game, we should have been 3-0 at half time, and the first half was great. But that's Burnley. Burnley are favourites to finish rock bottom. And then in the second half versus Burnley, they came at us, overloaded the midfield, and pushed us out wide, and we couldn't build out. And we almost didn't win that Burnley game, because you've got to remember, with Amorim's system, it's predictable. It's predictable. Teams then, we can play really well against teams in the first 20 minutes. I think most games this season, apart from Brentford, the first 20 minutes, we've played some really good football. So we can see elements of, okay, the system, what the players can do is good. But oppositions know how to play against us. They adapt, they overload the midfield. We've got 2 in midfield, they put 3 in there. There's no central progression, so we have to go out wide to progress. And then we're really struggling to create chances for Sesko. And soon as teams press us high and sort of trap us in our own half, because we haven't got that midfielder that can progress and recycle the ball. We do in Kobbie Mainoo on the bench, but he won't play Kobbie Mainoo. He'll play Agate, that is just the worst guy at that. We struggle. And I think that Ruben Amorim, even if he doesn't want to completely adjust and change his system, needs to make tactical adaptations in games. When you're chasing a goal and you sub Dorgo off for Mason Mount, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to a back 4. He's going to go for a 3 in midfield. No, he puts Mason Mount at left wing back. What was the point? When we're 2-0 down to Man City, the one sub he comes up with is Yoro for Maguire. It makes no difference. You have to change your system, because if you're 2-0 down to Man City, 3-1 down to Brentford, and we're not getting a sniff, and we're not playing well, we're not creating chances, change the system. You can still go with back 3, but change the way we use the midfield. Get the central centre-back to come into midfield. Get the left centre-back to invert into midfield. Get the wing-back to become just make adaptations. And it worries me that he's saying, look, when we lose, it's not the system. Because for me, I feel like a big part of it is the system, and he won't take responsibility for that. But I also think a big part of it's the players. I think 50% is Amorim, 50% is the players. And I think a new manager doesn't make us a load better, but I think a new manager can get the best out of these players and play the best players in their best positions, like Bruno as a 10, have Mainoo on the pitch. And that, playing our best players in their natural and best positions, at least makes us better. Romano's come out and said on Amorim that Man United have not prepared anything in case they lose to Sunderland. They want to focus on the game ahead and support Amorim to try and get results. Even if Manchester United had prepared something in case we lose to Sunderland, they're not going to tell anyone that. They're not going to tell Romano that. As good as Romano is, if we have prepared something, we're not going to be telling people that. Manchester United probably won't sack Amorim even if he loses to Sunderland. There's a part of me that thinks if we lose to Sunderland badly, he will be sacked. But there's another part of me that says, apparently I read somewhere online, and I don't know if this is true, so someone confirm to me in the comments, but I've read somewhere online by multiple people that if we sack Amorim in November, we can save 3, 4, 5 million pounds potentially, because he would have done the first year of his contract. I don't know how true that is, so don't fully believe me on that. But if that is the case, I wouldn't be shocked if he got to the November international break, even if we lost to Sunderland. I don't think there's a plan to sack Ruben Amorim. I think there's a hope that he beats Sunderland and we can start a run of form. I don't think they want to sack Ruben Amorim. It's going to cost money, but I think there's conversations going on and things being discussed. What happens if we lose to Sunderland and lose the next game, and who we're going to bring in? That has to have been discussed by Ineos. So yeah, I was going to talk about Antony, but I don't know if I have time because I want to keep this video to 10 minutes, but I want to give my thoughts ahead of the Sunderland match. Lemens must start. Lemens may start and he may be crap, but I just think with Baindy's mistakes, with Bananas, we might as well play Lemens, especially when the players and the coaches are talking about how good he is in training. I want to see Mainoo in for Agate. I'm happy to see Casemiro and Bruno, but I don't like Bruno in that deeper role. I'd rather Bruno play as a 10. I think if we're going to play Bruno in a deeper role, I'd say Sunderland is one of the matches to do it. But considering how good Sunderland are looking and the fact they're 5th in the league, it's crazy to say that I'm a bit scared of Sunderland as a Manchester United fan, so maybe not. I'd like to see Mainoo in there. I'd like to see Mainoo, Cass, pivot, I think, Bruno higher with Cunha and Bumo as maybe the front 3. And then Ahmad at wing-back, Dorgo at the other wing-back, Yoro, De Ligt, I guess Luke Shaw, because Managerial not available. We need Yoro's pace at the back. We missed that versus Brentford. Maguire was atrocious versus Brentford. Ahmad back at wing back. I mean, I'm happy to see Ahmad at 10. I'm happy to see Ahmad at wing back, but I would rather Ahmad play right wing back than Delo. Delo has been very painful. Let me know your thoughts on what lineup you want to see tomorrow. And then last but not least, Antony has come out and said things like, I feel like I was disrespected at Manchester United. They were very tough moments in England, more than 40 days in a hotel, training separately. He keeps going on. And Antony said he's not mentioning names, but he felt that there was a lack of respect at United, a bit of rudeness from players too, with no one giving you a good morning, and not even that. And he's just going on about United. And honestly, I don't really care what Antony has to say. He could have left earlier, but he asked for more money. He wasn't good enough for us. I'm sorry that we made him unhappy. I'm glad that he's happy now at Betis. I wish him the best. I hope Antony's doing well, but I can't be bothered to listen to all the negative things Antony says about Man United. You were not good enough. You could have left earlier, but you wanted more money. You've got your move. Now shut up. Thank you for watching. Bye.